question 3, please. Following the successful delegitimization of the 1999 constitutional order, because when we talk about constitution, people think it's just the book. It's the entire arrangement that ties you down as an indigenous person. So following the successful delegitimization of this book of Lucifer, this constitutional arrangement, this evil constitutional order, we understand that we are now moving into the decommissioning phase. Tell us, please, what this phase entails. What are the next steps for advancing this decommissioning process? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. What it entails is that those who were previously held bound, anything you say is treason. Anything you do is treason. And they can shoot at sight because you went flying flag some corner or doing some kind of crazy thing or blowing some little pipeline. They're watching you from the sky. They just come down, call you any name. That constitution enables them criminalize you. For those who have been asking, oh, why have they not arrested the people doing all this kind of... There's no revolution there's no coup worse than toppling the constitution that creates a country, that holds a country together. There's no revolution deeper than toppling the arrangement by which you are held in bondage for decades and centuries. South African blacks were in it for 80 years, from 1910 when apartheid was introduced or imposed to 1990 when they pushed back. Why were they able to push back? Because they eventually found out that it wasn't the white man passing by that took their everything. It was the apartheid constitution. Is it by accident that Oliver Tambo was a lawyer, joined by his younger friend Nelson Mandela? Both of them lawyers, very sound for the purpose. And then they began to explain to the people who were fighting apartheid long before they came. They began to explain to those people that it was the apartheid constitution that seized their sovereignty, their land, their rights, their life. And they narrowed down to that, to the point where the government was overwhelmed in 1990. It is that thing that they did to bring Frederick de Klerk to that conclusion in 1990 that we can't sustain this any further. That is what our people are required to do now. That delegitimization has brought us to where we can now step forward and begin the decommissioning. Nobody is going to ask you if you do what Ninas asked you to do and not add your own, because that's where the problem comes. Some of them will still carry their native doctor's bag of their own former plan. They say, government can no longer do anything. Let's go. Then they will pull out a flag of a country they cannot put boundaries to. That's where the problem will be. If you do what we ask you to do, that decommissioning phase entails getting people who want this freedom from this bondage, people who want fresh constitutional arrangements dictated by their inalienable self-determination rights, to now stand up to be seen, to be counted. And it begins with everybody joining from where they are to invite other people to enlighten themselves with information that's abundantly available, inviting their own people wherever they can find them. The information is available throughout the world, whether you are in Australia or you are in Abraka or you are in California or you are in Stuttgart. All of us have equal access to this information because it's on the internet, it's on the website, it's on YouTube, global. And so that decommissioning comes to where a larger number of people from what we currently have, those who went to do obedient, those who want to do a milocon. Is there any one of them that can buy petrol at any price less than what I buy? Is there any one of them that can exchange the naira for dollar? Anything different from what I'm forced to do? No. So the hunger and the suffering will discipline them into looking for a way to save themselves from death, because death will come from what is happening to them now, what is coming towards them. And so I can report to us that in that decommissioning phase, it is all about connecting with the people. Self-determination is a people's right. It's not something 10 people will go and do and deliver to you. You are the one who have to live in that freedom. You are the one who have to assert that self-determination. So that decommissioning is where sufficient numbers of people get to know that the life of that, the teeth of that lion has been removed, so that they can stand up and begin to do the things that will wake up other people, so that the critical mass of people who are defying, because it boils down to defying that constitution eventually, but a few people cannot go to defy it. And what I mean by defy is not the one anybody will come and shoot at you. It is just to say, look, my Oga, how many, when we do our altar call and they see the numbers that already agree with us, we already have sufficient numbers that agree with us, but what we need to do to connect them to seeing that these are the things they now need to do to be counted. We're going to have something they will fill in their particulars, and we're going to be doing events that will eventually move from virtual to physical, so that the system will see. And there's no meeting we're going to call all these people that have come to the public to say that constitution is the problem, whether it's Obasanjo or Emeka Anyuako or Mogalo or Utomi. And we could name 1,000 people like that. We could name 50,000 people in the next level. We could name millions of people who already are doing one thing or the other. But the day we say, let everybody come in this way or that way to be seen, of course, that is when they will see that the life of that constitution that empowered them has been taken away by these people who own the signature behind that life. That is what we need to do to advance that process to where it will become dismantling. Dismantling is the day they actually pack their bag and leave your space, except to invite them. After the decommissioning is the point at which they are no longer able to draw power freely. Tell me who is going to tell you to go to election again now, and you begin to listen to him. People are going to beat them up. The people who are postponing revolution to 2027 so that they can drag people back to this constitution for another election. People are going to grab them on the street when they find out they were dishonest, because they were dishonest. If they were in this meeting, I'm sure some of them are listening. They have been dishonest. How can you say the engine of a vehicle is knocked and you begin to load people who are running from death into that vehicle? Are you not a wicked man? Are you not the one that killed them if they got killed? The same goes to the church leaders, the shepherds. The sheep is dying now. All of you have your comfort. You are not the one suffering from lack of food. You are not the one running away from the country that is killing you. But you were the one that mobilized them to go and get PVC to revalidate the life of that constitution that should have gone down if you played your part. You became Judas' goat that led them to slaughter. And you told us that you go where the sheep go. Shepherd. Shame.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brother Tony. Shame, 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 shame. We cannot, because it's as if people are not seeing what our people are really going through. It will break any sincere person's heart if you have a clue of what these people. Meanwhile, Nigeria is supposed to be number 6 oil producing country in the world. They said not number 6, but I know it might be number 2 because they never give us right credits. Then the people are suffering. Thank you very much for breaking it down so well.